The best thing I ever found in my lunchbox is a donut.
The best thing I ever found in my lunchbox was a sandwich.
The best thing I ever found in my lunchbox were apples with lemon juice on them. The best thing that I ever found in my lunchbox was peaches.
Blended learning. Over the last 10 years or so, we found that the students need to have more hands-on work, and project-based learning became kind of all the rage. And so we started developing our curriculums online with basically an emphasis on creating projects so that they could apply their knowledge to something that was tangible. So we had been delivering courses using what we call a wiki space. So kids could log on, they could see the material and then begin the assignments with the teacher in the room. And we would complement that with video presentations on concepts or teacher lectures going through. And this has been working great for quite some time. With the nature of blended learning, the only difference really is that we have to really front load a course online. So if you look at it this way, it's like taking an online course in a brick and mortar building that has a teacher in the room. The blended part comes into play that you can have multiple courses happening in the same room at the same time with one teacher. And the difference in the paradigm shift that people have to make to understand this particular concept is that the teacher's not doing what we call the chalk and talk to present concepts. The website's delivering the information, the resources, and what the teacher becomes is what I like to look at as the professional learner. He or she is really teaching the kids how to learn, not as much as what to learn. Ideally, we have to know the what and the when, the how, the where all the information is going to be. We have to front load that. But our role is really to be the guide on the side and to help those students navigate through this online world. Inside this process, we built in times where there are teacher presentations, and there'll be a moment where a kid will be progressing at his own rate, and he can say, oh, it says teacher presentation. He sets up an appointment with the teacher in that classroom during that period. The teacher will pretty much do like an introduction to a new concept. So that's built into it. If I happen to be working with another student at a certain time and a kid needs help, we have a little icon that they can shoot a little note to our workstation, lets us know that they're on deck, if you will, so we can get to them as quickly as we possibly can.
I am 13 years old and I am currently homeschooled, but I come here for band and this class, the music theory class.
So tell us a little bit about what you're learning in this class.
This class I'm learning about, it's called Fundamentals of Music Theory, meaning like it encompasses a lot of the basics of what music theory is, which is used in composition and just an overall greater understanding of music, which I definitely have gained by doing this class. And so you start with the basics like rhythm and pitch and stuff like that, and then you move to the rules that traditional composers like the greats like Mozart and Bach and then Bach used, and so you learn about four-part writing and chord structures and non-harmonic tones and stuff.
The blended learning allows students to kind of travel at their own pace. So if a kid's really bright, they can take off. Kids needs a little bit more time, they have that time. And we have built in some basic benchmarks where they have to basically hit a minimum requirement by a specific date. But what it allows us to do is, because they're all at slightly different rates, the questions come almost constantly from different kids throughout the classroom. So we're just constantly rotating around and helping and finding resources. At the same time, what we're trying to do within the blended courses is allow a degree of flexibility for the student so that they can begin to research or study a concept about, say, electronic music or interior design, and go dive a little bit deeper. As opposed to just following a strict curriculum, we provide a framework for which they can sculpt their own project, if you will. And so
Well, originally last year I took the fundamentals of music theory and I wanted to go a little bit farther with it. So Mr. Freebern and I crafted a way that I could learn about what I wanted to do more, which is along the lines of composition and arranging. I started off doing a lot of review and going through stuff I didn't feel strong about, and doing all of these sort of things really helped because I could learn at my own pace and I wasn't constricted by normal classroom settings. So it was really, really interesting to try something different like this. Every year the Manchester Music Festival has a Dare to Compose project, and they invite local young composers to write a piece for a string quartet ensemble and an extra special instrument that they have every year. So I used my time in class as well as some of the new things I learned and adapted that into what I wrote for the festival, which was really, really cool. I did a film scoring project this year for one of the local teachers, and it was a really interesting experience putting film and music together to be able to create something that's a really big connection for the both of them.
One of the things that we did find quite interesting this year is there was a lot more peer interaction than I expected. Kids would finish a section of a project and say, hey, can you come over and check this out? And we'd encourage that, and it became the norm in the classroom. And we also find that students learn better from students on a lot of occasions. There's this different kind of motivation that happens. And so if a kid has gone a little bit farther, he might be a little more advanced, and another kid's coming along and needs a little help, there's that interaction that happens as well. So ultimately, blended learning solved a couple things. One thing was what we call differentiated instruction. And differentiated instruction allows basically students to progress at a rate that works for them in a learning style that works for them. So for example, in our theory class, we have a group of kids that are progressing at a very nice rate, but we had one boy that just got it. And so we just let him run. And the units were already built, the materials were all there. When he ran into some issues, didn't understand them, we worked with him individually. So he's able to take off. The kids that are struggling now have the ability to work with the teacher one-on-one, whereas in the past when I had just overheads and using a chalkboard and a whiteboard, everybody had to move at the same rate. And you either came along and you mastered it or you didn't. And time would keep moving on and a lot of the kids would fall behind. So this has allowed us to really differentiate the learning. The other issue, which I think in some ways is more important, is we wanted to be able to offer courses at Burton that were much more diverse. So if I want to offer, for example, I'll go back to interior design course. I couldn't do that in the past because I might only get 4 or 5 kids interested in it, and the economy says you can't offer a class to 4 or 5 kids. Now if I say I'm going to offer a media studio course, and in that media studio course you're going to learn about principles of design, and after we all learn principles of design, we're going to break off into what our interest is: architectural design, interior design, robotics, game design. There's all these different kinds of fields that these kids can study, but we give them a foundation of how to learn first, and then they branch out. So I might have 3 kids that are taking interior design, and it's okay. They can now take that at the school, whereas in the past we couldn't do that. It also freed up our schedule. So for example, all our music studio courses, what we have the ability to do now is there's 4 different blocks where you can sign up to take, say I wanted to take that advanced composition class. I got 4 blocks to choose from. In the past, I had 1 block to choose from, and not everybody's interested in composition, so the numbers were low, so we found a way to make this blended learning concept actually work.
I've been composing since I was 6 years old, even though my 6-year-old compositions weren't the best, but they're still good. I've had pieces performed by the Manchester Music Festival for quite some time. Usually I do string quartets and stuff, and now I'm at a point where I'm feeling like I'm moving toward larger ensembles, orchestras, and things, and so I am always writing music. It's what I want to do when I grow up. It's my passion. This is such a great environment for learning and for just learning how to be a musician, and it's really it's been really helpful in my overall understanding of music. It's such a great opportunity for kids like me who just want to move ahead.
Ultimately, I think if this goes the way I hope, when students start to repeat courses, say I take that interior design class and I got my overview on it, the next year I really want to go deeper. We build another level of course. And so we're going to eventually have a real large bank of offerings that the students can learn from, but also they can build off of the work that the kids did before. Building a collective knowledge or collective mind, if you will, of all these concepts that can be shared from generation to generation. So if this goes well, we're going to find that the kids are going to be able to go a little bit farther. They're going to be able to create really creative works. They'll be able to take subjects and find out if they have an interest in certain subjects before they head off to college. Because ultimately in high school we want them to experience as much as they can. So we give them a little taste. It's like a buffet, if you will. Grab that light, Tabor. Grab this light. Raise that light up a little bit and point it that way. Tabor, you bring it you would kick up over just to show the vertical. Yeah, but just work with this camera for that. Could we have the talent on stage, please? Talent on stage. Notice how I'm blocking the cheese? So if you think of it, and you don't have to worry about it, if you could put like the cheese on as a lefty would, see how the shot's open? We need to frame up. Talent on stage, please. Talent on stage, please. So what we need to do is we need to set up, now see how they're jumping out of the shot on us? So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out like where are they going to exist. And that's that little button right up there. And then notice we got a lot of blue happening, so we're cool. And we can leave it in black and white. Out here and look at your shot, man.
Spilling it.
Oh, then let me eat those. Let me eat those. Okay. So
Everything was spilled.
your world is right here. Sound check.
Okay.
Boy, how do you feel?
Fine.
On this one, I'm going to have you start just slightly wide. Well, we're going to rig you guys up just a second. We're going to go get one more. Give Tabor a number and just remember his number.
Okay, Tabor, you're 4.
You 3.
Come on.
And tell Lori to tell Tabor to count to 20. Okay, raise his volume up a little bit. You're shooting for some yellow. Keep going. Keep going.
Probably should wash my hands.
That's a good idea. Hi, Tabor. So what exactly is a reverse burger?
A reverse burger is a burger, but instead of having all the toppings on the outside, it has it inside. I like to put like bacon, cheese, and then actually I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna put some fries.
Like French fries inside the burger?
Yeah, you cook them, and then you can put like other toppings like ketchup, mustard, all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Do they take? How's that, Haas?
That was really good. I had we were sort of looking at your French fry pan. How about that? It's got hair on it, but that cat left.
Let's do. Maybe you want to show us how you get started with this.
Well, we're gonna take some meat and we're gonna split it in half, and we're gonna flatten it.
Are you ready? Okay, we're gonna look on it. All right, get ready. Look at that burger like you love it. Look at the camera.
actually from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I spent my entire childhood there. I'm one of 12 kids, number 8, and my father was an engineer for U.S. Steel, and was also a school board member for 17 years, and sort of, I guess it's one of the things that informed my sort of place in the world. I wasn't one of these kids who knows what they want to do when they're in 9th grade. It was, I was still struggling with that through college, and what I did know was that I wanted to do something that was important, and I wanted to do something that was worthwhile. You're going to be spending a lot of time doing it, and I love kids.
Great. There were a lot of articles in the newspaper while this whole process was going on of you coming here about how the school, they had all these applicants, 100 applicants or more, and you were chosen out of all those people, and one of their reasons was that you had a sort of common set of goals for the direction for the school. I don't know if we ever knew what those goals were. Could you tell us a little bit about what those common goals were?
I think that, they're pretty broad-based, and it's sort of, let me say that, it's clear, I think, to anybody who knows anything about Arlington Memorial, that it's a well-run school. It's well-managed, and the kids do well academically. That is the common goal right there, Let's keep what we have and let's move it forward. It's my intention to keep Arlington Memorial running in the same way it has been running. Mr. Cismesi did a phenomenal job here. And so the organization, the expectations for students, both behaviorally and academically, remain, but then what's the next step? How do we move forward?
What's your feeling about the place of arts and music and technology and technical skills for?
I absolutely recognize, kids come in all shapes and sizes and have diverse interests. The tough thing is managing all this at a really small school. How do we provide everybody with the opportunities that they're interested in such a small place? The good news is we do have some partnerships in the region where kids can go for technical school, for example. In terms of the arts here, we are fortunate to have an art teacher. We are fortunate to have music and chorus. But I think, as we move forward, one of the things that I think about doing is how else can we look at the schedule? Are there any other opportunities that we can have? But it's also sort of important to me because it sort of comes home to me because I want to make sure that, a place like Arlington has opportunities for whomever.
And what are your feelings about moving technology forward? I know that one of your teachers, did this whole campaign to get new Mac computers into the media lab and all that. Are you interested in moving all that technology forward in the school?
So Phelan Gallagher, our music teacher, he did a startup campaign in order to bring some Macs into the media lab over there in the band room in order so the kids have access to using sort of diverse musical programming. And so he's on that. We followed up quickly thereafter with 6 more Macs. So I worked with some folks and tried to find a little space in the budget to take an opportunity that was there to get these Macs at a reasonable price in order to augment the tech program that we have here and reintroduce CAD programming, which is what we've done. So the focus, I would say, is on updating curriculum to be in line with Common Core, infusing reading, writing, and thinking skills in content across the school, and seeing what we can do to improve our kids' performance along those lines. That's the real, the big work and the big focus. Right.
Is there anything you want parents and kids to know about you?
I hope that in meeting me and coming to my office, that they get a sense of who I am. I hope, what I want them to know is that my door is open. Please come on in. I do welcome parents, and I hope that they come in. And I hope that the parents who have come in, I've met with more than a few parents, have gotten a sense that I'm open to meeting with them, working on situations with them, and that, how to extend that to the community. I hope that's what's been said. I hope that they also see that, I'm very serious about education. My bottom line is always going to be what's best for students. There's a lot of smart people here, and so I work with them in order to make the best decisions. So while I'm serious about education, while I'm serious about the programming that happens here, I also like a good laugh. And I love kids, and so hopefully the kids see that. That Mr. Barnes, he's not as serious as he looks like he is.
Well, on that lighter note, what are your favorite things to do? What are your hobbies?
Well, with a full-time job and 4 kids, I think that's about all I have.
Yeah.
My hobbies are spending time with my children. Really.
What's your favorite thing about Arlington?
The kids.
The kids.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's really, I think that's the thing that really sort of warmed my heart after. I mean, you have an impression about a place when you're coming to interview, and they're interviewing me and seeing if I'm the right person, but I'm also getting a sense as to, is this a place that I believe will be some place that I want to work? And I believe that, and I accepted a position. But working with the kids here has really, sort of reinforced that. And it's a great group of kids. The smallness of the community, I think, allows, I think what happens is the kids sort of sense this family here. The kids are kind to each other. They've known each other for a long time, and they're respectful to adults, and it's a great thing. They're really nice kids, and I enjoy working.